Yes, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Father Sukir. It's been like forever since I've been back on this show. Listen, last week I want to openly apologize. I don't know what happened with some of my young folks, but I was told that some things came up and they wasn't able to host the show last week. So my deepest apologies for that. But I want to just say thank you, Can TV, for all the work that you've done to make sure that we have a venue to expose and to empower our young people on. And it's been our goal here at Father Sukir to do what we can to empower the least of them. So that means we got to go with the good and we got to go with the bad. And sometimes things change. And so change is good and change is inevitable. But we're back on the show tonight, and we basically want to talk to you about some topics that are pressing and trending in our community. And we want to talk specifically about what we can do as a community to come together to engage, enlighten, and empower each other. Listen, I want to start off by saying, listen, it's been a beautiful day. If there's been no test, there'll be no testimony. So it's all good. Go Sox. Anyway, I said that because we're going to the Sox game, these young folks and I. And so these young folks got me wired for sound, but I love them. But listen, tonight we want to talk seriously. We want to talk specifically about, since there's so much going on in our neighborhood, particularly people are talking about violence all the time. So folks are talking about Chicago being the most deadliest place in the country. Don't believe the hype. St. Louis is. Baltimore is. Philadelphia is. Then Chicago. Then New York. Then other places. So don't believe the hype. But anyway, listen, tonight we want to talk about engaging and enlightening and empowering our young folks. We got young folks out there. Thank you, young people, for all the good work that you're doing, and we love you, and keep doing the good work. They're producing the show tonight, the West Garfield Park Youth Council, and our guest this evening is none other than our very own Dr. Karen Ahmed. And we're going to talk to her specifically about mental health. We're going to talk to her about trauma. We're going to talk to her about substance abuse. We're going to talk maybe about some things about what's trending in the neighborhood, like opioids and K2 and Spice and Four Loko and all these other little things folks are using to escape. And they're using it to escape because there's some other things going on.
Right.
Like trauma crises, various crises that they're dealing with. But what we're going to do tonight, I want to first just take a moment now and let you know that, of course, you're watching Father Sukir. We're a not-for-profit organization located on the west side of Chicago. Now, basically, we believe in empowering the least of them. We believe in encouraging fathers to be the best fathers they can be, community organizing, youth and leadership and development. And we want to do whatever we can to bring our community together. I want to start by saying that on August the 1st, all of the community stakeholders from the 11th, 15th, and 25th districts will be coming together. We'll be coming together. Let me see if I can get that over here. We're going to be coming together because what we're going to be doing, and Karen can help me with that.
Yeah.
What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing an event, a day with the commanders from the 11th, 15th, and 25th districts. It's going to be all kind of resources, games, fun, music, the works. We're going to be at Grace and Peace Church, 1856 North LeClaire. The theme is Level Up for Social Change. It's going to be a fun event, an empowering event. We got all kind of folks coming together from all over the city. You don't want to miss this event. This is one of those public safety events, a mental health event, a community awareness event, people coming together having fun. This is not going to be one of those events where folks are coming together to complain and debate and argue. We're not doing any of that. We're coming together.
Fun. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Now, this is a fun event, strictly fun. That means bouncy houses, DJs, music, games, food, the works, giveaways, all kind of stuff. We're not coming together to sit back and listen to just folks that just beat us up and preach to us and all that stuff, which I do like a good sermon myself. But we're not going to be preaching that day unless you request it. And we will be praying for you, too, if you request it. But for this day, it's going to be fun, Karen.
That is going to be fun.
So anyway, let me take my time now and introduce my dear friend and sister, Karen Hunt, Dr. Karen Hunt Ahmed. She's a professor. She's an author. She's a life coach. Yeah. She's a mother. She's a good friend. She's a servant for social change. She's a warrior. She loves working. She loves empowering folks. She's a go-getter. Karen, you have always been a good friend. And I want to thank you for being a good friend, and I want to thank you for, in spite of things that go on, you continue to stay the course. And I want to say I wish you nothing but the very best in any endeavors that you pursue.
Thank you.
But do me a favor here, Karen, as we embark upon this show, and this show is entitled, What Can We Do Collectively? That means together. To save our children and our community. Come on, let's seriously talk. And let's quit thinking that the new mayor is going to do it, the new governor is going to do it, the new president going to do it, the new city council member is going to do it, the old city council member is going to do it. Leave that foolishness alone.
Yeah.
You have to make a difference in your community. You have to stand up and be recognized. You have to speak truth to falsehood. You must be the example in the community. If we're going to empower these young folks and try to engage these young folks, we can't be afraid to mentor these young folks.
Right.
We got to have these young folks, and we got to be responsible for these young folks. Each one, teach one. Young people can't be what young people can't see. So quit putting the responsibility on somebody else. Parents, parent your children. And let's stop thinking that law enforcement and all these other entities are going to do your parenting. Do your job. And I don't mean it in a disrespect. But get that belt back out and use that belt.
Well, maybe.
Well.
Or your words.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. So, that's biblical.
Yeah.
Karen,
Yes.
tell us, who is Karen?
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me
Give me
on this
some.
show.
You make
And
it-
you've meant so much to me, you and your
We're friends.
friends
Yeah,
and,
we're good
and your
friends.
group.
We're
And
good
I've
friends.
I've loved being involved. And that's coming to an end. One chapter's coming to an end right now. But
Life has chapters.
Life has chapters, yes. So let's see. Who am I? The passions driving me are I am a psychology professor and a life coach, and I have done some form of mentoring or work in the community for my entire life, starting when I was about 6. My church at the time. Did a lot of interfaith work and a lot of social service projects. And so I just kind of grew up knowing that I was part of a community and that I was going to help my community,
Right.
and then my community would be there for me too.
Right,
So
right.
I eventually went on and I studied psychology and became not a therapist but a life coach, which we can talk about the difference if you want to. So basically what I like to do is try to empower people. I like young people. I like teenagers and young adults because I think that's a crucial age when you are old enough to know what's going on, but still young enough that you can get new ideas and take in new ideas. So I really like to work with young people and teach them, I hope, how to empower themselves. I've raised 2 daughters, and hopefully they're empowered. So I just like to be a part of the community and give what I can to the community and just be a part of it.
Well, you spoke about a few things, particularly about being a life coach, and you talked about you enjoy working with young people. I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I really have a passion for that, not for pay,
Yes. No.
but for empowerment.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Because the work I've been doing it for upwards of 20-something years.
Yeah.
So it's not nothing that people pay me to do. It's something that I
Yeah.
have a yearning to do.
Right.
So, and that's why I continuously keep young people with me.
Yes.
Because I love them.
Yeah.
And I know that they need guidance, they need support,
Yeah.
and they need someone who really cares, because young people know when folks
Yeah.
care about them, or folks are working for $1
Right.
to be around them.
Right.
Well, I'm the latter. All right?
Right. And it's so nice for kids, even if they're so close to their parents, even if they have the best relationship, it's very nice to have an adult who's
Yeah.
not their parent
Absolutely.
to talk to and support them. And
So let's talk specifically about life coach.
okay.
About a life coach. And I my mind just keep on, and forgive me, I'm having one of those moments, because my mind keep on going to the state of the city of Chicago, particularly the
Yeah.
west side.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to throw out terms clinically, but I'm gonna do it because I feel compelled to.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that folks, old, young, and different, are traumatized,
Yes.
and they don't understand that.
Yes.
I feel folks are experiencing compassion fatigue,
Yes.
and they don't know how to deal with that. I think, and I don't particularly think if a person is going through some mental health issues and or concerns, that they should deal with their bad selves. I think
Right.
they should seek out some
Right.
support, but it's unfortunate, and I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm not saying this to you in a negative towards my people. I'm saying it because it's a fact. All right?
Yeah.
That a lot of African Americans, they believe if they seek out help, from psychiatrists, sociologists, or psychiatrists, sociologists, or
Yeah. Therapist, whatever.
therapists.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you. That they must they feel like folks would assume that they're crazy. They use this word. No, that's not it, is it?
No, it's not.
But please explain.
So, Reverend Jones, if you had a cold, would you go to the doctor?
Yes.
Okay. If you had the flu, would you go to the doctor?
Yes.
If you had I don't know, if you broke your arm or your leg, would you go to the doctor?
Yes.
So what if you were feeling kind of bad in your heart or your head, or you were feeling sad or angry or upset or any number of bad emotions? Then why not go to a doctor for that?
But I like that. Go ahead and explain.
Yeah, so the kind of...
I like how you brought that out of me. I really
it's
do.
true.
Thank you for taking me there. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so
because
much.
you wouldn't feel embarrassed to go to the doctor if you had the flu. Really, what a therapist is, or a life coach is really kind of a doctor to help you fix your feelings. Not that anything's broken or wrong, but just sort of to help you deal with your feelings, to know where to put them, know how to let them out. If there's a problem that's causing them, like if you have the flu, you have a virus, get rid of that virus. If you've got something causing your bad feelings, you want to get rid of that virus that's causing your bad feelings. And mental health professionals are able to help you get rid of what's making you feel bad, just like a doctor would get rid of your flu virus.
And Dr. Ahmed, that's really why I like this kindred spirit bond that we have, is because we can talk.
Yeah.
We can always talk, and we can share things,
Yeah.
And I really want to encourage folks who are watching today who might be chemically dependent, undergoing substances abuse and using those for an outlet, to understand that you can't escape certain things.
Right.
You can't use alcohol, tobacco, drinks, and drugs and other stuff to try to what that word I'm looking for, to try to minimize
cope or make it go away. Or
that's-
numb it.
Numb it. That's the word I was thinking. To
Yeah.
numb those feelings. Sometimes you just need to talk to someone. We
Right.
got a call on the line. Caller, your comment or question, please. Hello?
Yes, I have a question for the doctor.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you for calling.
Yes, my question is, what do you think about the children that are being medicated because they either are hyper, and have a problem with just sitting still? What are your thoughts about children being medicated and then getting used to it? Because you got a lot of parents and you got a lot of outsiders that are able to give these children the medicine, and sometimes they give them too much. Do those children eventually end up getting addicted to that medicine? Because I work at a school where I see it happen a lot, and I just want to know, what is your feelings about children being medicated because they're too hyper? What do you think about that?
Hey, thank you for that question, because I think that's legitimate.
Yes.
That's a legitimate concern. Please go with it.
Yeah, well, thank you for that question, and that is a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
And I just have to say that I don't work with drugs or medicine, so I'm not qualified to tell when each individual child needs some medicine. But I do know that a lot of times children are medicated because maybe conditions in the classroom are difficult, maybe overcrowded, maybe there are too many children making a lot of noise, and as a classroom management tool, I'm not saying that happens all the time, but that is something that can happen. And also, like you said, children these days have a lot of difficulties in their lives. They have a lot of problems that we didn't have when we were growing up. And, perhaps they get medicated, even starting antidepressants very early.
That's what we're talking about.
Right.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Right. And as a way to cope with these feelings, instead of addressing what the issues might be, such as overcrowding in classrooms or kind of systemic life situations that make it difficult to cope.
When you say systemic life situations
Yes.
that make it hard for them to cope,
Yeah.
be more specific.
Okay, so
I know where you're going.
it's difficult to live in the world these days, and especially if there are financial challenges, if there is a fear of violence in your neighborhood, if schools are underfunded and the classrooms are crowded or uncomfortable or there aren't enough teachers, if there's not access to jobs, so if the family situation, the parents can't get jobs or don't have access to jobs, those are stressors that aren't in any way the child's fault, but the child's behavior is sometimes acting out other people's stresses. So when children act out other people's stresses, sometimes some professionals make the decision that instead of dealing with the underlying situation, that drugs are the way to deal with the children. You know, give antidepressants or kind of anti-hyperactivity drugs.
Like Ritalin.
Right, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like you was referencing some antidepressants, and not only children use that, grown-ups use it.
Yes.
And some
yeah.
grown-ups are over-medicated.
Right.
And some of them are actually experiencing different kind of issues and withdrawals and all kind of stuff
Right.
as a result of that use.
Right.
But let them tell it, because they're feeling a certain feeling of euphoria.
Euphoria, yes.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They feel floating, they feeling cool or laid back or claiming that is numbing their pain. Click,
Right.
click.
Right.
They just go ahead and use it.
Right.
But actuality, they can't handle that.
Right.
Because what they need to
Right.
be doing, I'm not saying folks shouldn't use medication. I'm not implying that.
Right, exactly.
But if you're walking around on medication and medication making you sleep while you're walking.
Right. And if you go back to the, talk about when you have the flu.
Yeah.
You sometimes want to take a little medicine to like make your throat not hurt so much or cough less or something
Right.
like that. And sometimes a little medicine does ease the pain a little bit.
Absolutely. A little medicine.
Yeah, a little medicine. But when, you can't, if you've got the flu and you're over medicated, you won't be able to function and your body won't learn how to cope with the flu.
You're talking to, you're watching Father Sukkah, and of course our guest this evening is Dr. Karen Ahmed, psychologist, life coach, definitely good friend, and always committed to empowering. And we're having a deep conversation. We were specifically talking about mental health and lack of mental health services
Right.
in the city of Chicago. There are a lack of mental health services, clinics to help folks. That's why folks don't get the help that they need because
Right.
there's no services to help them.
Right.
Go figure.
Right.
So we're living in an environment where folks are not able to talk about things, nor do they want to talk about it because folks are giving them this taboo that it ain't cool to talk about issues. It is
Right.
cool to talk about things that are bothering you.
Right.
What ain't cool is for you to live a life and depressed. What's not cool for you to walk around here knowing that you need some assistance and you don't get it.
Right.
That's not cool. Let's talk specifically about, since it's an issue,
Yeah.
let's talk about, we also want to encourage those who have young folks between the ages of 16 to 24. If you're looking for some employment for these young folks, Father Sukkah has an opportunity right now until tomorrow evening to get young folks hired, possibly if they can go through this application process. Summer job process at $10 an hour, 20 hours a week. If you give us a call at 773-287-5821, 773-287-5821. If you got some young people between the ages of 16 to 24. Also, Karen wants to tell us again about what's going on, what's happening, what's coming up, Karen.
Right. So on August 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we've teamed up with many neighborhood resources groups or organizations, as well as the police districts, 11th, 15th, and 25th police districts, to have a day with the commanders. This is going to be a fun day. It's called Level Up for Social Change, and going to be a fun day of entertainment, of food, of games, of bouncy castles, and you're going to get to meet your neighbors. You're going to meet people from organizations who might have some resources to you to help you out with what you. Be a fun day. Check it out.
There seems to be here the signals.
Yeah.
So we apologize for the delay and the problems with the connection here at CAN TV, but I'm sure they'll get it fixed, and those who are working back there would make it happen. So again, Karen was particularly talking about the August 1st event that we're doing in
Yes.
collaboration with the 11th, 15th, and 25th districts. A fun day, Level Up for Social Change, free giveaways, book bags, music, fun, resources, food, entertainment, all of our community stakeholders, sector partners, and friends coming together for social change and community empowerment. We have a caller. Caller, your comment or question?
What made you want to become who are you who are what made you want to become what you are today?
So, what inspired you to pursue your career, your profession?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah, thank you. I love to hear other people's stories. So from the time I was a child, my parents were very involved in their church, and it was more of a social service church. It wasn't we didn't worship all the time. We worshiped through, we worshiped through service.
Right.
And so we were exposed. I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, and
Nashville?
Yes, and we just got together with other churches, with other religions, and we just did these projects all around town. So I have always been out in the community helping people, and I just kind of grew up thinking that if you're on this earth, then you've been given certain skills or abilities or opportunities that you need to give back to everybody else.
I've read some writings from Muhammad Ali and Shirley Chisholm, and in essence, some of the things that they talked about, they came to some of the same conclusions in that service is the rent you pay for your service,
Yes,
for your
yes.
life on earth.
Yes.
So if you're going to be here and you're going to matriculate, you have to give back.
Right.
You can't be selfish because the
Right.
little stuff you got is really not yours anyway.
Right.
The beauty of it is the beauty to share.
Right.
But that don't mean, just go out there and blow it. But that means to help somebody along the way.
Yes.
Do what you can to empower the least of them, and do what you can to empower these young folks who really don't know.
Right.
You was telling us about violence. How can we stop the violence in the city of Chicago? And why is there so much?
I think there's a lot of violence. I mean, of course, I can't solve the whole thing, but I do think there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of trauma in Chicago, and we can talk about trauma if you want to. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of hopelessness. There's a lot of, I think a root cause of violence is lack of access to resources or lack of resources.
So economic
economic
lack of economic development.
jobs development, jobs being available so that it's, fairly easy to get to the jobs. Lack of educational resources. Sometimes, people might want to go on to college or some kind of trade school, and it's difficult because of the financial situation. I think a lot of frustration and lack of hope leads to
So why do
violence.
folks become chemically dependent on whatever chemicals they may be? Alcohol, K2, 4-Loco, opioids, Molly's. Why?
Same thing, frustration and lack of hope. Those are hard feelings to feel. It's
Okay.
difficult to feel like that, and sometimes you just want it to go away. And these drugs you mentioned all help those bad feelings go away.
To numb you for the moment,
Right.
but not eternity.
And it doesn't solve the problem.
So you're hearing it here from Dr. Ahmed, and she's not professing anything over anything else. She's just giving you some information that you can grow
Right.
on. Caller, you on there. Your comment or question, please.
Hi. How can we reach out to you?
So they want to know how can they contact you if they was interested in life coaching or a psychologist or just a
Okay.
downright all-around good person.
Oh, okay. Well, you're welcome to get in touch with me. Reverend Jones has my information.
773-287-5821. 773-287-5821.
Yes.
773-287-5821, or log on to Fathers Who Care and let us know what you're trying to seek out, and we do our very best to get you in touch with Dr. Ahmed. Caller, you on there, you're coming to question. We got to move forward. Hello. Okay, we're having technical difficulties one of those nights here, but let's get on back and talk about it. Remember, we're talking about jobs and opportunities, do we
Yes.
not?
Yes, we are.
So we're telling you right now, don't
Right.
talk about it, be about it. We have opportunities for young folks between the
Yes.
ages of 16 to 24. If you're looking for some employment right now, $10 an hour, 20 hours a week, 16 to 24 years old. If you're interested in some fun activities, we're going to be doing a light in the night event, fun activity on a hot spot, a Delator's Impact spot at 3937 West Wilcox tomorrow tomorrow, Light of the Night at Melanie School. We'll be cooking, we'll be having games, bouncy houses, fun, amusement, basketball games, the works. We can make these things happen when we come together. We can do change, we can create change, we are change. Social change is the ability for us to go out there and change the environments from a negative space to a safe space. Social change is another opportunity for us to empower each other, to enlighten each other, to encourage each other, to make sure folks understand that together we stand and divided we fall. We love you. So Karen, come on back and give us some,
All right.
give us some closing comments on some things that you were specifically talking about trauma.
About trauma. Well, trauma is hard. Trauma can be acute trauma, something bad happens, an accident, you witness something bad, or a long-term trauma from long-term
Like
struggles.
chronic.
Yeah, chronic trauma
Right.
from long-term struggles. So, if your life is hard every day, that builds up and you have trauma.
So how do you deal with that?
You find a mental health professional.
Oh, there you go again.
And there's lots of different levels of mental health professionals. Here on the west side, we have quite a few resources, not enough, but quite a few resources at all different levels. Some they don't charge as much, some charge more. And go to the doctor, go to the mental health professional, and help you with your feelings.
Well, you heard it here. We was talking about an event we're doing on August the 1st called Fathers Who Care. We was talking about jobs and activities for young people called Fathers Who Care. We was talking about the opportunity for young folks to come together to empower each other called Fathers Who Care. The number to Fathers Who Care is 773-287-5821. Or you can log on to Fathers Who Care, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, all of that good stuff the young folks have empowered me to do. Listen, it's been a stone, guys. Y'all, we love you so much. We'll see you now next week, same time, same station. But right now, we got to get these young folks together and get them over there to White Sox Park. Go White Sox over
White
Minnesota.
Sox.
We're going to make this thing happen. Listen, if you need help, give us a call. We love you. Thank you so much, Karen. You
Thank
rock.
you for having
we really
me. This
appreciate
was
you.
great.
You are a jewel in our community. Thank you guys so much, but we got to go. Good night and have a blessed evening.